Hey everybody, today's words to live by are: anytime you let go of control, truly let go, you find a curious thing. You begin to have access to power. Not the kind of power that comes from force, not the kind that manipulates or resists. Rather, it's energy that arises when you are no longer wasting yourself on fear, resistance, and self defense. This is one of my favorite quotes from a guy that I listen to and read quite a bit, Alan Watts. And so I think really his point here is that most of us, as we go through life, we think that we can sort of bend the world around us a certain way, sort of like merge things into our will. And when you try to change the world around you a whole lot outside of its sort of natural course, it takes a lot of effort. And so I think the moment that we step aside and stop sort of pretending that we're the sun and everything revolves around us, and that the world moves on its own, then there's just a massive shift in our own internal energy. It's sort of like the energy that was pent up trying to control everything suddenly becomes free and available for us to use productively, right? And so it's this round and round sort of cycle that you have to almost do once or twice to see that it works, to really believe that it does. And I've been thankful and grateful to have experienced this, but it's like the more you give away, the more you get back. It's counterintuitive to, I think, a lot of the way that we're taught, a lot of the ways that we're brought up, where it's your own self-will and nothing gets done unless you do it. And I mean, look around, there's so much happening that we don't control already. And most things function just fine without our say-so. So Alan Watts, to me, when he speaks these words that are, ingrained in my own mind at this point, it's really urging me to strike that balance over, yeah, sure, there are some things that absolutely I control, and I love to actually control my energy. And then there reaches a point where there are things that I can't control. And a lot of times it's people. I can control my response to what people do in my universe, but I can't control a whole lot when it comes to other people. You can't change people necessarily. They have to want to do it themselves. So I think what's really key here is basically, for me, it's like sometimes I feel like I'm pretending to play the role of God, and I'm trying to control all of these different things out there. And the reality is that that's just never going to happen. And as soon as I sort of like let go of that, of that sort of predominant mindset, the energy and the power is massive. And it's a little bit scary at first because, again, we're raised in a way that most of us are raised in a way that it's like, you got to do it. Hard work, self-will. There's nothing wrong with hard work, right? But it's like you can't will every single thing to fall in line exactly with what you think. And I think there's a knowing that point where you can let go and just let the world revolve as it will. It's just such power individually, internally, that you feel once you sort of make that shift in your mind. And it is a shift. There's a shift that happens when you start to understand what that balance looks like between, okay, I'm going to lift myself up by my bootstraps, and then I'm going to let things happen as they will. So I hope you enjoyed this. I could have gone on probably for 20 minutes with this one, but there will be more Alan Watts-isms in this series. But if you enjoyed it, please like and/or subscribe. I will see you again very soon.